Hey everyone, Sean here. So this is gonna be the follow-up to all the questions you guys asked me. I'm gonna answer them here. But before I begin, I forgot to mention this in the last video, and that is if you want to stay updated with me, it would be best if you followed me on Twitter or Facebook. Because, sometimes I'll be gone or inactive for a long period of time, kind of like now, actually. And I'm not gone, so I don't want to leave you guys hanging in the dust, but it's just kind of, or leave, did I just say that wrong? Anyway, I don't want to leave you guys hanging, that's what I meant to say. And I think it would be best if you guys did that. So, because if you guys have any questions for me, you can ask me. I'm really quick, I try to be quick with my responses. And, I'm not actually gone. It's just things happen, and it's kind of hard for me to stick to a schedule on this channel. So if you're ever feeling like, oh, where are you, just go ahead, do that, hit me up, and I'll be like, I'm right here. So that is my little announcement, and let's get started with these questions, okay? So we're gonna start with Twitter first, and there was only one question on Twitter, and it's from Frog. And he asks, or they ask, sorry, do you like Finn? And my answer to that was, of course. He was my go-to roam for a really long time. And, well, with these balance changes, it's kind of been tough to use him lately. Especially with, the newer heroes coming out that are kind of just, dancing circles around him. But I also haven't been playing him very much, so I kind of have to get back into the swing of things with him and get used to how slow he is and all of that stuff. But I really did enjoy playing him. It was nice pulling people in and just keeping them stuck and just ruining them. Or, well, my team would. But, I like Finn. Next question, and now we're moving on to Reddit. This is from 3 Blind Mice. I'm only gonna read the question portion. You guys said some wonderful things to me before you asked your questions, and so I'll just say this right now, just to not be a broken record. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So he asks, or they ask, I don't know what your gender is. Which piece is currently your favorite? And this is kind of, I did answer this, but it was really brief. My current favorites are Lance and Batiste. Lance, because his style is more up my alley. I love listening to stuff like that. And I love how it came out. I was struggling with it for a while. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I actually hated the very first draft I came up with. So I mean, I might use it for something else if I can figure out how to make it work. But for now, I'm just gonna leave that alone. And Batiste, it might sound kind of weird how I describe it, but his sounds very familiar and new at the same time. I say it's familiar because I've actually I gave it a hip hop feel, I guess. I used to make beats a lot before in the past. I stopped doing that because, well, I feel like this is more important now. You guys are much more appreciative of the work I do, so why not? But it's always nice to go back to something that I used to do a lot. But it also feels new because I added a lot of different things on top of, I never made anything like that before, even though it's a bunch of things that I normally do, but it just felt very unique to me. So and both of those are on my demo reel. That can pretty much tell you how much I like those. That's the more detailed answer, so that concludes that. Let's move on. This one is from Everyday Thunder, and I also answered this, but the 3 questions they ask are, how do you get inspiration and do you ever get stuck? I always get my inspiration. Well, with the Vainglory Heroes is from their splash art and just basically their like appearance. Like as soon as I see that, I get so much information that just pops into my head. I'm just like, I kind of already know how I want it to sound, but then, you know, I want to look further and, you know, see how they play, read their lore, all of that. Do I ever get stuck? A lot of the time, but for very different reasons. The main reason is because I get so enthralled by what I make. Like I make this part and then I love how it comes out and I just listen to it over and over and over again. I'm just like, it's so mesmerizing, but then I realize I'm like, I still need to finish this. So a lot of my time is just kind of sitting around just kind of enjoying it, but you know, I had to stop doing that because like I could probably get stuff done so much faster if I didn't do that. Sometimes though, I do get distracted. It's kind of hard working on my computer when there's just so many things, and then people like talk to me and hit me up with something, and I'm just like, okay, what's up? And then that turns into something that takes up more time. But very rarely is it that I actually do get stuck, like I don't know what to do. And if I do get to that point, it's usually because I start, it's usually because I can't even start it. But a good example of being really stuck was Flickers. Like I had something and then I had no idea where I wanted to take it after that. But his is one of my favorites too. So, you know, sometimes, like, even if you did get stuck, it's just best to keep going. Maybe you might end up with what you like. And next question is, do you think you've improved as a songwriter because of this? I'm like, yeah, definitely. You know, when you do this so much, it's just you learn so many new things along the way, and then it just makes you, like, I just, you know, feel like I have much better control over my ideas in my head versus what actually comes out. Like, a lot of the things I made, you know, they sound very close to what I originally imagined, and I'm glad I'm finally getting to that point. Will you ever go back and rewrite some of the hero themes you did in the beginning? Yeah, the Volume 1 album was kind of that. Koshka and Ringo both got theirs extended because, you know, kind of felt like they needed more beef to them, so that's why. But a lot of them had their arrangements changed, like pedals. I added my acoustic guitar to hers and actually removed a lot of the metal sound to it, so now it sounds a lot more peaceful, I would say. But as far as a rehaul is concerned, I'm gonna go back to Adagio's, mostly because I based that one off of his lore, which is the Dark Parade, but that's now under Alternate Fate, which kind of screws with things a little bit. I'm not even sure though. I mean, I read it and it doesn't look like it contradicts with anything in canon, so I mean, it could still be official lore, but his official lore is now shared with Idris, and I need to go back and make something a little bit more appropriate. So, you know, I would, to be quite frank, too, the original Dark Parade, the one I made, that might need a retouch too. It's not the one I listen to a lot, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying I hate it. It's just, you know, I feel like I did better with other things, me personally anyway. If it's your favorite, it's great. You know, I'm not going to stop you from liking it. Why would I? So that's all three of those questions, and now we're moving on to YouTube. So first question is from Maxwell Wang, and he asks, how did you learn to compose music? Did you take composition classes or just some music theory? I learned when I was 16. I took a guitar class, and the final that we had for that class, he wanted us to write a song, and my teacher never ever explained how to do any of that. Like, he just taught us chords on the guitar, like that was it. and it was a beginner class, so like of course that's the only thing he taught us. And so when the final came, I was just like, are you serious? Luckily I had a partner to do this with, but like it was still ridiculous because we were just didn't know what to do. He definitely didn't teach us how to write lyrics, so anyway, you know, I actually enjoyed the assignment despite my like initial reservations and fears. But we finally pulled through, and then I started, you know, experimenting more. Like, I wonder what else I can make with the very little knowledge I had. And then I graduated high school, and then at first I was going to be a nursing major. I was that for a while, but like in the back of my head, I've always wanted to do music, and it just got to the point where I couldn't handle like all the intensity of the program, so I just quit, and I was like, let me do what I really want to do. And I'm not saying that being a music major, well, I mean, it was a little bit easier, but I'm not saying it was easy, because that was tough too. But, you know, that was something I was willing to push through more than the other one. So there's that. Second question is, what instruments do you play? Yeah, so I play piano and guitar. Mostly piano, but I haven't had my piano here, like, since I don't have a piano here is what I meant to say. Yeah, so I've been playing more guitar, and I think I'm actually starting to catch up to my piano skills, which I'm okay with, you know. It's just kind of weird. I never thought myself as a guitarist primarily, but the other things I know how to play, because there's more. I played clarinet when I was in junior high and high school, and then I stopped after high school. And then I played, oh yeah, I joined choir when I was in college, so I'm okay singer. You will never catch me singing on any of the things I make, though. I don't think my voice, if you can already tell, it's not gonna work very well. Yeah, I played that, and then later I learned violin, viola, cello, and then I learned electric bass. I mean, yeah, I play guitar, but like, you know, and a bass is just a little bit different. I think I enjoy playing that more. I don't have them right now, though, unfortunately. And then the last thing I learned was this instrument called the cajon, which is just a box. And if you don't know what that is, it's just a box, and it can kind of double as a drum set, and it sounds really good in like acoustic sets with like an acoustic guitar and just this really chill vibe. Like, it's not overpowering, so it's good for very laid back situations, and I love that thing. But I also love that back in California, so I'm kind of sad about that. But yeah, that's that. So let's move on. This one's from Manib Fens. I can't say that, but I apologize if I'm saying your names wrong. So the question is, when did you start playing Vainglory? How did you learn about Vainglory, and which tier are you? So I started playing Vainglory, wow, it's been like about 2 years now. I started playing in July 2015, and I heard about it through Shin Kaigon. I'm actually, we're not buddies per se. I mean, like, I didn't really talk to him until I started doing all this Vainglory stuff, but I go back way, like almost 10 years ago, to our arcade days where we both played BlazBlue, and he's, oh my god, he's amazing. Like, I've never been so salty playing against someone. But yeah, I learned about it through him and my friend Lunistia, who's also been on the stream, and yeah, she's the one that got him into it. And I subbed to his channel, his Twitch channel, when he was just starting League, and then I kind of stopped watching it because my schedule wasn't working with his anymore, and I was kind of sad because I enjoyed watching his stream. He was a really good Quinn when he was playing League. But what happened with that? Yeah. So, you know, I was still sub to him, and I would get email notifications saying, "Oh yeah, Shin Kaigon's online now, streaming this and this." And at first, it was just a few indie games, I think. I don't really remember; it was a while ago. But then eventually, it got to the point where it just kept telling me he's streaming Vainglory, 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 and I was like, "Okay, he's playing this a lot." That started making me very curious, so I was like, I looked up videos on YouTube, and then like my phone couldn't run it at the time, so that's why I had to wait till July, and then that's I finally upgraded my phone, and that was the first thing I downloaded. I'm like, let's finally play this. So that's how I learned about it. And what tier am I now? I was at hotness like a few days ago. I finally got back to it, right? And then it's been a stroke of bad luck. I dropped down a full rank back down to credible threat, and I'm like not entirely happy about that right now, but it's whatever. So yeah, that's what I am, unfortunately. I want to reach simply amazing, but I don't think I can do that by myself. So yeah, let's move on. This one's from Namer Garen. I think I'm saying that right. Question is, where did it start? Oh yeah, how soon do we have to expect the release of the second volume, and will I include extras like the skin-themed versions of the compositions? So, as far as volume 2 is concerned, I have to wait for Lunistia to do the album art cover. You know, at first I was just like, let's not wait, let's just... that was going in the back of my head, but when I finally started doing all the procedures for getting the album out there, the art cover is like super important, way more important than I thought. Like there were guidelines that I had to follow and make sure like everything was there, and it was kind of frustrating because some of those guidelines were confusing. But like, yeah, I definitely need to have something, and I don't want them, the CD baby, to make it for me, because you know I like Luninstia's art, and I'd rather have her do it because she understands what I want. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait for her. That's my question. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make her look bad. She's a busy woman, so I can't fault her for taking her time. But yeah, once that's good to go, then you can expect it soon. I'll leave you all up to date with that. And will I include the extras? I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, I might, because I don't see myself finishing the the skin themes yet. If you look at my playlist, like they're like bare bones. There's only like 3 or 4 in each of them, maybe only 1. So, you know, I'll probably include them just so you get the chance to have them on you. You know. Yeah, you know, yeah, I'm leaning very strongly towards it, so, yeah. Anyway, but do expect a separate album for them, though. Just throwing that out there. Alright, now we're moving on to the next question, which is from Mehmet, and he asks, I was wondering how you write your music. Do you just write the music, or do you have some sort of process before you start making the music? Brainstorming is so important. Like I feel like it's kind of strange, you know. Art is supposed to be like this free expression, right? Like just do whatever you want. But you know, I feel like it's a lot easier to do things when you box yourself in and just be like, stick to these ideas, right? You know, my philosophy is, you know, you can't think outside of the box until you have it, you know, because if you don't, then you're just kind of just going wherever the hell you want, and that just leads to some crazy stuff. I mean, some people make it work, but yeah, brainstorm, like just confine yourself and just stick to like a theme, you know, and then I mean, if you come up with something that's just like way out of left field in the course of it, go ahead, add it, but try to stick to something. Like sometimes, like I don't even consider doing anything until I have a title. Well, I mean, with this project, it's a little bit easier because, you know, I name most of my stuff after, like, abilities or perks or something. So, you know, that kind of just doesn't work for me. But yeah, stick to something, and that's basically what I do. That's the simple way. Like, there's a lot more to it, of course, but like, I think brainstorming is the most important thing. If you don't do that, then, you know, coherence will be lost. So that's that, and let's move on to the next one. So this is from Chicken Gaming, and he asks, "Are you Malaysian?" And no, I'm not. I am Filipino. Well, yeah, but my Tagalog is really bad, so don't ask me to speak in it because I don't even know how to say something. It's like, that's how bad it is. So there's that. Next question is from Rohit. I can't say it. Which software do you use? I didn't do a very good job of clarifying that when I was doing the tutorial. So the first thing I was using was Reason, and the second thing I showed you was Cubase, which is the red diamond symbol looking thing, and the last one was Mixcraft. The one I didn't show you was Logic, which is on my MacBook, which is right down here. Yeah, I couldn't show you that because I can't capture a screen from a different thing, so but that's it. And next question. Which university did you go to for this? So just going back to the other question about, you know, I went to Cal Poly Pomona. I got a degree in music industry studies from there, which is basically like music business and stuff. I focused on music production, and obviously I like creating stuff. I'm not too good on the business sense, although I am getting better at it. I did kind of put some focus onto engineering too. Those were like the three branches of it, and I focused more on the first one, which is production. And let's see, next question. Oh, this is from Chan Chai. And before I answer this question, I just want to give him a shout out. He is the organizer of he's the organizer of Pacific Northwest Vainglory, or PNW Vainglory. You can follow him on Twitter if you live. I mean, if you live in that area and you just want to know, like, if there's any cool events going on near you, that'd be great. If you don't and you still want to send him some love, just go ahead and follow him on Twitter. I'll leave a link to that too. But now let's get to his questions. And the first question is, what are your favorite older pre-2010 video game soundtracks? Whoo! That's really hard, actually. Guilty Gear. I don't think this is a surprise for a lot of you, actually, considering, I mean, if any of you have ever played those games and listened to the soundtrack, I don't think any of you are surprised at it. But yeah, it's such a kick-ass soundtrack. That's what got me, technically what got me into fighting games, and you know, that's what got me into BlazBlue, which led me to meeting Shin Kai-gun. So that's there's just so much more other than Guilty Gear though. But that's the first thing. I mean, Final Fantasy. Like a lot of the soundtracks from Square Enix games. It's just so hard to answer this because like it's just a lot, and I think this list of things I didn't like is shorter, so we'll just go with that. Like, if you name a game and if I've heard of it, I probably like the soundtrack, so we'll go with that. What are your favorite modern video game soundtracks? I just recently played Nier Automata. Oh man, like that was a phenomenal soundtrack, and like I didn't like, there wasn't a track I didn't like in that game, which is really rare. So, you know, there's that. I might, you know, I've been thinking about this, and I think I might add to my channel like soundtrack reviews and stuff. I might do that in the future. It's just, there's just so much I can talk about that I think I can do this. Like, I'm already at 25 minutes on this video. Like, this, I'm sorry this is taking so long. Anyway, next question is, do you play any rhythm games? Not so much right now. I mean, I played the very first rhythm game that ever came out, which was Parappa the Rapper. That was my childhood. I love that game. I have the remastered demo on my PS4. I don't actually have it. I might buy it soon. But yeah, like, I love rhythm games. And that one's my favorite. Space Channel 5 was my favorite. I'm not too big of a fan of like DDR or anything like that. It feels kind of awkward playing that game. But I also, dance pads are expensive, so I obviously never played that either. But I'm getting too much on that. And the last question is, what are your thoughts on SCMC's overall approach to lore? Any thoughts on how their approach compares to how other games present their lore? I think the lore is great, actually. It's just, there's just, everything just, it's just, I mean, the world, it feels so much bigger than what we have right now, and I'm glad that Sugar Venom's like adding more, giving us more, you know, with Bati's coming out recently, and she explained that, like, you know, he's part of this group of people that are like hiding underground from the Storm Queen, and I thought that was cool. And then when they added Rhyme, Lance, Lyra, Samuel, like Troston, like it was just the whole city, you know, or country. I don't know what it is, but just like it's the whole big different part of the world, and that was pretty cool, you know. And I hope more of that comes out. Maybe when Grace comes out, like, she'll probably be a different part of the world too. So, you know. So for the second part of that, it was like, I really liked how they did. I know, you know, resources are really scarce right now, so I'm not gonna fault them too much. But like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to see the lore, like how they did with Taka and Gwen, like that comic book style. That was really cool. And when at the start of this, you know, we see like I'm getting jumbled up. So yeah, with Taka and Gwen, that was cool. I want to see more of that, but you know, again, time is probably better spent somewhere else, but that'd be great, you know. Maybe in the future, like an animated, like kind of like how Overwatch does their thing, but that, you know, we'll see. You know, if they want to do something, they know who to call for the music, right? So that's Shanchai's questions, I think. And this last one, I saved this one for last. This is from Walter Kretzer. His question is, why are you so good at making music? I don't know if you really were expecting an answer out of this, or you're just, you know, but I really feel like this is an important question to answer, because first of all, like, I do believe that I am pretty good at what I do. I think it's important to look at yourself like that. Like, I'm not saying that I'm better or the best, you know, I'm not comparing myself to anyone but myself. And how I view myself is, I think I'm good, and I think that's important to do, first of all. So, you know, if it comes off as arrogant, I'm sorry, but that's just how I see it. But how did I get so good at it? It's practice. Like, practice. Like, you don't get good at anything if you just only do it once. I mean, you might be like super talented and get it right away, but like, you know, there's always room to grow. And that's why I don't feel like I'm the best at anything, because I know that, like, I still have that ceiling. I don't even know if it exists, you know? Like, I don't know what I'm capable of yet. So yeah, you know, I always just keep doing what I think. This whole Vainglory thing has really improved my skills. Like I mentioned in another question, like, I just keep doing it over and over and over, and that's the best way to do it. I mean, I don't know if I really want to, But if the need arises, maybe if enough of you sub or something, I might show off my very, very first things I've ever done. And I guarantee you are going to not like them. I, I, I'm not brave enough to show you guys, but we'll see, you know. But, yeah, I hope that answers that. And that was the last question. So, I think, I don't think I have anything else to address. I already did that at the beginning, but again, follow me on Facebook and Twitter if you want updates from me. And yeah, I'll see you all around next time. Okay, so have a good day and take care.